Room 21 Rockstar families, and welcome to our weekly VODCAST. My goodness, can you guys believe that it is already the month of March? I really want this year to just kind of slow down because your scholars are so incredible, Room 21 Rockstar families, and I am so grateful that you share them with me every single day. It has been an incredible year so far, and I cannot wait to see what is in store for us here down the road. So first of all, I would like to congratulate this week's Rock Star of the Week, Miss Andrea Washington. Andrea has been incredible in terms of taking the Academy and taking it up to the next step, visiting other scholars in classrooms, checking on their work with the Daily Decision Board, and just being an all-around amazing scholar the last couple of weeks of school. So I really wanted to recognize her for her incredible efforts, her effective effort in doing so. So congratulations to this week's Rockstar of the Week, Andrea Washington. A couple of other quick announcements, guys, before we head off to the strategy session for the week. First of all, tomorrow in class, we will be watching The City of Ember. Your scholars have been incredible with this unit of study. You know, something that we've really been working on, I'll just swing you around here, is looking at the difference between wonder and curiosity. And so we've sorted all of the characters from the City of Ember among those things, and we actually carried our ideas from the last unit with Out of the Dust, Ordinary and Extraordinary, and the scholars have just, you know, they're looking at language so differently now as scholars this year, and I'm so incredibly proud of them. Our next book up is Hannah's Suitcase, which coordinates to our trip to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., which is coming up on April 30th. I'll be sending home some more information about that. I'll send home an information form before spring break, and then more detailed information as we return from spring break. You know, I had to get that on the calendar to get tickets and whatnot, but I will keep you updated about that. That is on a Saturday on April 30th. So that's what's coming down the pike. A couple of other things. On this week's newsletter, I did advertise that our geometry test is on Thursday. It's actually going to be on Friday now. I've made a few adjustments in the schedule. So all this week, scholars will be working to master all of the areas of the geometry unit, and then we'll have that assessment on Friday. And then interims are coming home, believe it or not, on Friday. I feel like we just sent home report cards. You'll receive a Barrett Academy and a Stafford County Public School interim to update you of your scholar's progress. And my gosh, it's such a cool time every time we get to interims and report cards from me, because your scholars are absolutely rising to the occasion, exceeding the expectations, and just doing amazing things this year in 5th grade, family. So I can't wait to share more of that awesomeness in the interim coming out on Friday. And then next Monday, we have a pretty exciting day. It is March 14th, which, if you love math, you probably know that that is also Pi Day. So this flyer will be coming home tomorrow. We're actually getting ready to measure the circumference, diameter, and radius of circles. So on next Monday, on Pi Day 3.14, March 14th, we will be celebrating Pi Day and learning about everything circle related. So if you can send in anything circular that is edible. So it could be a Little Debbie snack cakes, it could be a pie, it could be a cake, anything like that. We're going to be measuring circles and living up to the traditional mathematical Pi Day, and it is PI for the math form. And we will be studying all of the awesome things with circles coming up on Monday. If you can send something in, just make sure you fill out the bottom of this flyer and just give me an idea of what you're bringing in, just so that I have an idea if I have to go and get anything, to make sure that we have things of all different shapes, of all sizes. We do want all the same shape, which would be the circle, which is always a really awesome day, and I promise not to let your scholar eat too much sugar. They'll be able to bring some home at the end of the day. So that is coming up next Monday on March 14th. Now I'm going to send you guys over to the strategy session, and I'll see you on the other end. Okay, Room 21 Rockstars, I'm starting you off on our homepage, recordrockstars.weebly.com, and I'm going to take you right over to the strategy session today. That is under the VODCAST tab. I have a ton of different things that you can do to earn some house points this week. One of the things I actually put up on our classroom page for the week, because I think the question format helps the best, and it's actually a debate. So I posed a question. It deals with City of Ember and Mayor Cole, and it kind of helps to move us into our next book that we'll be reading. So if you respond to the post in complete sentences, then you'll get yourself 5 house points, and I'll be sure to check it pretty frequently and respond back as well. But the question is, in the City of Ember, we learned that Mayor Cole fed his darkness so much that he was no longer recognizable. Okay, that's what they told us in the book. He had those blinders on. So my question to you is it possible for someone or something, I guess, to go from darkness, such as Mayor Cole, to light? And I explain that with something. Use some type of evidence, either from your own life or from City of Ember or another book that you've read. And that kind of helps bridge the gap with what we're going to be learning in class. I'm really excited for you guys' posts with that. So this week we will be working on combining and subdividing plane figures. Okay, so we're taking our knowledge of quadrilaterals, and right here on the screen, if you still are not feeling great with that dichotomous key and quadrilaterals, you may want to check that out. Okay, you want to get that vocabulary to be fluent and being able to name all the attributes of all the different figures that we have reviewed. But I do have a combining and subdividing video here, and essentially what we're looking at when we're talking about combining and subdividing, guys, is simply, either splitting figures or bringing them together and determining what new figure you have. So I have a couple of problems here that you guys can work on to earn some house points, and we're going to do a few together. So I have this figure right here. Now if I trace the outside of this, what figure do I have? What quadrilateral, based on the attributes that we know in our dichotomous key? Yes, that would be a trapezoid. It has one set of parallel sides. This trapezoid happens to have 2 obtuse angles and 2 acute angles. Okay, so the obtuse angles are right here. Right there and right there. And the acute angles would happen to be right there and there. So if I were to split this figure down the dotted line right here, what 2 figures do I now have? That's what we call subdividing. So we know divide means to split. Okay, and it has the prefix sub on the front of it. So subdividing, that's taking our figure, a figure that we have, and breaking it apart into smaller sections, but when they are essentially parts of the whole. So whenever we combine them back together, we still have the same whole that we started with. So what 2 figures do you see right here, guys? Well, yeah, we see 2 triangles. Now the triangle right here that I'm tracing with the mouse happens to be an obtuse scalene triangle. It's obtuse because it has one obtuse angle. It's scalene because none of the sides are congruent. Okay, now this triangle over here that I'm tracing with my mouse right now, I may want to tilt my screen a bit to kind of check it out. But that triangle is definitely acute based on angle measures. It has 3 acute angles that add up to 180 degrees. And then I believe if I turn my screen a little bit that this side and that side are congruent. So therefore this triangle is isosceles. Okay, so what I want you to do with this page is figure out what new figures do you have whenever we combine or subdivide. Okay, so subdividing is breaking apart the whole into different sections, and combining is taking those parts and making the whole once again. So here I have a few right here, and we also have a few words there to help you. And then down here is where we combine. So if I were to take this square and bring it together with this square, what new figure would I happen to have? And remember, we want the most specific name of the quadrilateral or triangle that we have. So, we may have a rectangle. We want to make sure we name it a rectangle if it has 4 right angles, opposite sides congruent, and 2 sets of parallel lines. We don't just want to say it's a parallelogram. We want that specificity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back up this page, and you guys can pause the screen where you're at, and then go ahead and work on your combining and subdividing. Okay, same thing down here. Okay, each question that you answer here, just draw a quick little sketch of it on your page, and then I'll give you 2 house points for each of these. Remember, we're looking for specificity. Okay, what is the most specific name for the figure that you have? And this video right here, which you guys are actually going to watch in class as well, in small group, this does a really nice job of talking about that terminology. of combining and subdividing plane figures. So you may want to give that video a little watch too, and that will give you some knowledge. If you watch the video, I'll give you 5 house points. How will I know that you watched the video? Well, what I want you to do is comment down here on this Padlet board telling me that you have watched the video. Just click in. Remember, just put in your first name and then tell me, I watched the video, and then one thing that you learned from the video, okay? Or some new generalization you might have or something like that. Okay, so go ahead and put that there. I do have all of the links from the past couple of weeks involving angles, triangles, and quadrilaterals, as we do have our geometry test coming up on Friday that's going to encompass all of those topics: angles, triangles, classifying triangles by angle measure and side length, and also quadrilaterals, naming the attributes of our quadrilaterals, looking inside of our quadrilaterals at different angle measures and things like that. So you may want to look over all of that. If you do any of those problems, you can get yourself a house point as well. Our math challenge of the week, one more week it's remaining up because that is our 4 opportunity for the week. You're looking at a reflex angle and trying to tell me how you can find the unknown angle measure without using a protractor of a reflex angle. Okay. Our writing fix of the week, you know, at the beginning of our City of Ember unit, this was the image that I used to advertise the book to get you guys excited about learning. So what I want you guys to do is look at that image and decide what comes to mind with these light bulbs now. Okay, and I want you just to write about it. You can get yourself 5 house points. So when looking at these images, what comes to mind now that we've read City of Ember, we'll be watching the movie tomorrow? What new generalizations do you have? What new conclusions do you have? What new thoughts do you have? What new pieces of learning did you take away from that novel, as we had an incredible shared experience together in reading that book? So go ahead and write about that, bring that into class, and you can get yourself 5 house points as well. Now, the secret hashtag of the week is actually an acronym. Okay, so I am not going to tell you the words of the acronym, but the hashtag of the week is hashtag BG. Okay, so you have to say that with some passion. That will make sense later this week, but the secret hashtag of the week is hashtag BG. Bring that in for 5 house point scholars, and you can boost your house up just a little more and put in that incredible effective effort that I know you guys are all about. You know, the house point standings are where they are right now. We do have some, we do have a spread between the house points, so we want to see who is going above and beyond and bringing everything that they have. Now I'm going to send you guys back over to Mr. Reichert in. Hey, Room 21 Rockstar families, I hope that those strategies were successful. Your scholars are incredible. They have risen to the occasion. They are living up to the expectations. They have become an amazing Room 21 family. I cannot wait for the week that lies ahead. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, never hesitate to contact me, because you guys are the very best families in Stafford County, and that is the truth. And I will see you guys next week.